The Sign of Jonah, 3 Days and 3 Nights, Part 2. In this presentation, we're going to address the other two questions that we did not answer from our Part 1 and get into this final part of the lesson of just what is the sign of Jonah. A lot of misconception, as many of us know throughout the church history, has been taught about this understanding. And so we're going to bring you the real clear, undisputable facts about this teaching so that you'll be well grounded to address this issue. So we prayed, we ask you do the same, and the Lord will be faithful and guide you into all truth. Let's begin. Okay, so let's do a little recap on Part 1. And the answer to question 3 was clear. Jesus was crucified on Friday. So if you did not see Part 1, we suggest you go through that and you'll see that it had to be on Friday that he was crucified. The astronomical records show that the Passover fell on Wednesday, Thursday at the time of Jesus' end, and therefore could not have been possible to have him killed Wednesday or Thursday per Matthew 26, 3-5. And briefly, that just was indicating that the people had got together and met with the leaders and agreed that they couldn't do it over the Passover, otherwise there would be a big uproar. So that shows that he was not killed during the Passover services. This last part we're going to address is the number one question: in fulfilling the sign of Jonah, did it mean 3 days and 3 nights in the grave? Number 2, was it possible the sign was fulfilled in some other way? So we're going to address that as we go forward here. All right, was not Jesus 3 days and 3 nights in the tomb? This is the great question, and this is where a lot of confusion comes in. We have been taught, or many of us have learned, that the 3 nights in the tomb, 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, means in the tomb. But is that true? So let's read what inspiration says. Let it not be forgotten that he was buried on the day called the preparation day, Friday. And the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate on the day that followed the day of the preparation, Matthew 27:62, on Sabbath, requesting him to be set a watch over the tomb. It was therefore the second night after his burial that the tomb was guarded. And the fact that this was the night that Jesus arose, Matthew 28:1-5, proves he was in the tomb only the 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night. Consequently, the statement, 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, must stand for something more than simply his being in the grave as interpreted by some. Yes, indeed, brethren, this is the great big snare that many people get involved with, is that they have to figure out those those time periods in the grave. They have to put Jesus in the grave for that whole time. But as we go forward, we'll find the truth. Then in Matthew 28:1, the words, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, are not spoken with intention to tell the time when Jesus arose, but to show the time when the women arrived at the tomb, and therefore cannot be taken to mean, as some think, the evening at the end of the Sabbath. For the women came to the sepulchre in the morning, as each gospel writer attests. And then we have the 4 gospels, and if you read them closely, they all confirm the first day of the week very early in the morning. So this is very key to understanding the time when Jesus rose. So each of these scriptures that we show in the presentation are going to be pillars. They're going to show us great timelines in this teaching. Mark 16:1, 2, Luke 24, 1-10, also John 20, verse 1, bear threefold proof that in regard to the Lord's resurrection, Mary Magdalene knew nothing before Sunday morning, when to her surprise the angel said, "He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. But go your way, tell the disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him." Mark 16, 6-7. Then too, Mark says that Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, and also that on the first day of the week, not on the Sabbath, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. Mark 6, verse 9. Those, therefore, who interpret the words as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week to mean that it was late Sabbath afternoon and that Jesus was then risen, are in serious error. So this is very clear, brethren, that it gets the preponderance of evidence that, just as it says, the first day of the week, not on the Sabbath, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. So let's try to keep these timelines firmly in our mind. Okay, so the hour of each event. Anciently, the timepiece was regulated at 12 sunset. Midnight and noon were at the 6th hour, and the morning at the 12th hour. From this original system of timekeeping, the record in connection with the trial and with the crucifixion is made as follows. John's record of the trial states that Jesus was in Pilate's judgment hall at about the 6th hour, John 19:14. Whereas Mark's record of the crucifixion states that Jesus was hanging on the cross at the 6th hour, Mark 15:33. Obviously, these two 6th hours cannot be the same, for at the 6th hour he was on the trial of Pilate's judgment hall, whereas in the next 6th hour, 3 hours after he was crucified and while he was hanging on the cross, the sun became darkened. After 3 more hours, from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, when the sun again appeared, Jesus died. And so these are very good clues as well to knowing the time periods. Christ was brought before Pilate either at midnight preceding Friday morning or at noon Thursday. To determine which, we need only consult John's record of the trial, which disallows the midday time of Thursday, for it says, "It was the preparation of the Passover," John 19:14, and as this preparation day was Friday, we can only conclude that Jesus was brought before Pilate at about midnight, the 6th hour, on what was called Thursday night, but what, according to Genesis chapter 1, and according to Jewish Sabbath keeping, actually was Friday. So we highlighted this red part because it's going to be very, very clear here, brethren. Accordingly, Jesus was arrested early Thursday morning, tried before Annas while it was yet dark, John 18:13, brought before Caiaphas in the assembly of the Sanhedrin, his legal trial at daybreak, Matthew 26:57, 27:1, next before Pilate, Friday before daybreak, about the 6th hour, John 19:14, then before Herod, Luke 23:7, then back to Pilate, Luke 23:11, and finally was crucified in the morning of the same day, about the 3rd hour, Mark 15:25, 9 a.m. modern time. So, brethren, we have a very clear, concise picture of the timeline for those events. Once Jesus was taken into captivity, they went according to what is said here. Okay, so now we're going to get to the truth of the 3 days and the 3 nights. He remained in the tomb 2 nights and rose on Sunday. That the 3 days and the 3 nights is the time from his first legal trial to the time of his resurrection. That the heart of the earth has been erroneously interpreted to mean the grave, when instead it is, as Jonah's experience shows, symbolic of Christ's imprisonment in the hands of sinners and in the tomb. Oh, brethren, do we have clarity here? Beautiful. Thus it is written, and thus it behoved Christ to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day, Luke 24:46, that the sign of the 3 days and 3 nights literally is fulfilled from Thursday morning, the time of his legal trial, to Sunday morning when he arose, that the Paschal lamb, which was about to be killed when Jesus was on the cross, was not that which was killed on the first day of the Passover week, the 14th day of the month, but that which was killed on the 16th day, the second day of the feast. All these conclusions are firmly founded on the solid facts established herein in simplicity. And we just want to make a note that this all was taken from Tract 10, page 6 to 15. Now here's the copy of the Tract 10, and for those of you that are wondering, this is one of the tracts that's put out by the Lord's Elijah Message, which we know as the Shepherd's Rod. And this is the front cover of that Tract 10, and we've turned it sideways because we have a beautiful pictorial representation of the heart of the earth. And we can see we'll take our little marker here, we can see the darkened areas as the dark night areas, and then we see the light areas as the day areas. And of course we have the Passover here, and Jesus arrested, and before the Jewish judiciary in this period, and before the Roman judiciary, and then on the cross. Now of course we remember those dark days while Jesus was on the cross right there. Let's see, that's the 6th hour to the 9th hour, and then of course we have the in the tomb. So we can see the in the tomb period really is just a portion of the 3 days and 3 nights. The rest of it, he was in the hands of the sinners. Okay, he was imprisoned in the hands of the sinners. So when it says 3 days and 3 nights, it just simply means in the hands of the sinners, not necessarily in the tomb. And that's the big misconception that we've learned through this lesson. So we hope this is a blessing to you. You now have the clarity of the teaching, and may you spread it. May you be joyful and let others know that this is indeed the truth of the matter. So until next time, we continue to ask you to pray for the Lord's guidance. He will be faithful. In John 16:13, we read that the Spirit of truth shall guide us into all truth. And this is a promise that we can take once we believe in it and act accordingly. So until next time, may God continue to guide you into all truth. Amen.